Ladies and gentlemen, after many battles, desperate wins, and shameful losses, out of 100 lords, only 64 remain and they are gonna compete in the grand final event. Who's gonna be the best one? Let us find out in this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand final to find out who is the best melee lord in Warhammer 2. Only 64 lords remain in this tournament. It's gonna be a double elimination, so the best 32 are gonna start in the winners bracket and the worst 32 are gonna start in the losers bracket. Let's look at the standings and see who is about to play. So, Guga's Plaguefather, Grombrindal, Yuan Bo versus Durthu, Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord versus Miao Ying, Orion versus Vlad von Carstein, Imrik versus Nakai, Grimgor Ironhide versus Alastar the White Lion, Skarsbrand the Exile versus Epidemius, Lokhir Felhard versus Rakath, Malus versus Drazoath the Ashen, Boris Ursus versus Kroq, Archaon the Ever-Chosen versus Taurox, Gor versus Nakai the Wanderer, Kholek Sun Eater versus Alberic, Luthor Archaon versus Boris Todbringer, Tyrion versus Thogrim Grudgebearer, Drazoath versus Gor Rok. This is going to be the upper bracket of this tournament. As for the losers bracket, we have Count Noctilus versus Grease's Goldtooth. Count Noctilus just qualified from the mini elimination tournament, so he's going to be participating in this one. Demon Prince using his Mark of Corn form versus Castellan, Eltharion the Grim versus Quick Head Taker, Araness Soulspite versus Luan Linker, Valkyr the Bloody versus Zhao Ming, Angrim Iron Fist versus Silostra Diaphene, Elspeth von Draken versus Belga Iron Hammer, Kai Queen Khalida versus Throd the Unclean, Kron Hellebron versus Karl Franz, Throg versus Azag the Slaughterer, Wolfric the Wanderer versus Manfred von Carstein, we're almost there, Red Duke versus Azazel, Malekith versus Sigvald the Magnificent, Thoric Ironbound versus Thoriel the Everwatcher, Isabella von Carstein, and she's written as Con Carstein. I hope she's not a con, we're gonna fix that, versus Sisters of Twilight and Repans versus Khazrak. This is the lower bracket of the tournament, and without further ado, let us jump into the matches. Let's jump into the first match on this wonderful map. This is going to be Grombrindal versus Guga's Plaguefather. Not the luckiest draw for Grombrindal, as Guga's Plaguefather is currently our highest ELO ranked champion without any losses. He made it to the grand final. Let's see if they charge into each other. Gugas is cheating a little bit, and let's compare these two. Gugas have almost twice as much health, actually more than twice as much health as the Grombrindal, but he doesn't have that good stats. He has 80 melee defense, which I think is a big problem for all the other lord. And he's using, let us find this, virtual contagion, I guess, which brings Grombrindal down to 29 health. Grombrindal is poisoned, he's taking pestilent decay, which is a little bit damage per second, and he is affected by the slime trail. And yeah, looks like Grombrindal is not going to be able to do much in this one. He just doesn't have enough time to do damage to Gugath. Gugath has 1200 health, Grombrindal is down to 2000 health. It's a very hard match for Grombrindal. He is unbreakable though, that might be one of the qualities he might use in this match, but he seems like he's just taking more and more damage. He just cannot land any strikes against Gugath with his insane melee defense, and looks like Grombrindal is gonna go down in this match without doing much to Guga's Plaguefather. Yeah. Let's jump into the second match between these two and see if this is gonna go any better for Grombrindal. He does manage to do quite a bit of damage to Gugath, who's down to 1200, but Grombrindal is almost at half health. Yeah, I don't think that is gonna be enough to Grombrindal. Unless he gets some very lucky strikes against Gugath, he might be able to claw his way out then, but well, doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it. Grombrindal seems like he's going to go down in this one, 2-0 for Gugath, who what a disgusting picture. Look at that. Grombrindal just dies in a spray like a geyser of vomit or something. Guga's Plaguefather laughingly is gonna go into the next round, 2-0 for Guga's Plaguefather. Let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be Yuan Bo versus Durthu. Yuan Bo is gonna transform into his dragon form and charge into the mighty tree man. And let's compare these two. Yuan Bo has less health and less melee attack, but Both of them have magical attacks, almost the same amount of armor. Yuan Bo charges into Durthu. He has a very nice buff, which is the Dragon Fang. Fang plus 40 melee attack, 50% base weapon damage and armor piercing damage. He goes up to 800, and he has 10% ward save. Let's look at Durthu. He has physical resistance, not really useful in that one. He has frenzy. I think that might be his winning ability. Let's see how this goes. Seems to be a close matchup. Yuan Bo is at 5200. Durthu is down to 6100, so Yuan Bo is slightly behind, but he has the execution ability, so his Durthu is going to be down to 20% health. He is going to be able to execute Durthu, so Durthu needs to be very careful. They are almost both at half health. Durthu seems to be taking a bit more damage, I guess. No, it's actually Yuan Bo. Yuan Bo is down to 4800, not landing his necessary strikes on Durthu to bring him to half health. Durthu is down to 4000. Yuan Bo is sitting at 3800, so both of them are going equally down. I think that is advantageous for Yuan Bo, who might be able to use his ability on Durthu and win this match in a very easy manner. Let's see how that goes next. Yuan Bo is down to 3100, Durthu is at 3200. Yuan Bo is just flying around. He can use the execution on Durthu. Can he? Yeah, he's using the execution on Durthu. And for some reason, and I've tried this many times, guys, I tried it many times, the execution, sometimes it doesn't work for Yuan Bo, but technically that should have been an execution. It just doesn't work for some reason in this match, but he wins anyway, so let's count this as an execution. It's going to be 1-0 for Yuan Bo. Let's jump into the second match between these two. Yuan Bo is gonna stay in his lucky dragon form, and Durthu really needs to make a comeback, otherwise he's gonna fall into the losers bracket. Yuan Bo is charging into Durthu. He is just jumping around as a dragon. He has such nimble animations. I love it. He attacks, he swirls and twirls around Durthu, but Durthu is just standing like a proper tree man he is, and just landing strike after strike on Yuan Bo, down to 7100 versus 8400 for Yuan Bo. Yuan Bo seems to be missing a lot of attacks this time, and Durthu is landing the strikes he needs to land, so Yuan Bo is down to 4700, 4400. Durthu is almost at full health. Doesn't look like the executioner is going to be coming for Yuan Bo anytime soon. And yeah, this 10% ward save, it's a nice ability, but Durthu has so much damage unbuffed that, well, Yuan Bo has actually more damage, but he needs to land his strikes. 75 melee attack though versus 60 melee attack. Both of them don't have a lot of defense, but this time it seems like Durthu is just doing much better. He's down at half health. Yuan Bo is probably at the fifth of his health, so if Durthu could execute him, he would win, and Durthu takes this one. 1-1 between these two, and let's jump into the final match and see who's gonna be the best out of these two. Alright, let's watch the final match, as again, Yuan Bo is gonna transform into the dragon form and charge into Durthu. Now let's see how that goes. He charges into Durthu. Durthu, he doesn't have expert melee defense, but he seems to negate the charge quite a bit, and despite he is a mighty dragon form, Yuan Bo doesn't have that much of a charge bonus. Yuan Bo is down to 7100, 6700 versus 77 for Durthu. He seems to be taking a lot more damage this time around. He's flying around Durthu, but he's down to 5500, 5100. Yeah, looks like, let's look at Durthu. He's, I guess, at 2/3 of his health. Yuan Bo is down 2000 health, so maybe his execution ability is gonna save him, because this time he's just taking more and more damage from Durthu. He's down to 2800. Durthu is at 6000 health. Yuan Bo is down to... it's so hard to click at him when he's just flying around. He's down to 2800. 2400 for Yuan Bo. Durthu is down to, well, I would say around half health, and a fifth of the health. Yeah, Durthu would need to go down to probably 1600 for Yuan Bo to win this match, but Yuan Bo is wavering. He loses his leadership. He crawls into this interesting circular form, but he's gonna lose this one. It's gonna be 2-1 for Durthu. Alright, let's jump into the next match. This is going to be Vlad von Carstein versus Orion. As both of them charge into each other. Let's look at the competitors. Vlad has 17 melee attack, 50 melee defense. He has the Carstein ring, which is giving him 60% ward save, which is very nice. And he also has a very nice ability called the Master of Beguilement, minus 40 melee attack for Orion. Orion, though, he is unbreakable. That's one of his biggest advantages. A lot of weapon strength, 75 melee attack, nothing to sneeze at. And he has the Cloak of Isha, which is going to give him 20% ward save and Very nice regeneration when his health drops below 1/5. Vlad, though, he is just a good lord, he's regenerating, he has a few nice buffs. It says victory is in his grasp, but Orion is never gonna waver. He is not that kind of a lord. So Orion is again down to 3500, 35 melee attack. There is his healing cap, and he's starting to regenerate slowly. Vlad also, his healing cap there, it's approaching very quickly. So let's see if Vlad will be able to bring out Orion before that. Orion is sitting around 1200, 1300. Vlad is at 3500. Orion is also at around 1500, so Vlad is almost about to reach his healing cap. He won't be able to heal anymore beyond that. Orion still, though, has a lot to heal, and Vlad, I don't think he's doing the damage quick enough for that. Vlad is out of his regeneration potential. Orion is still regenerating. He is at 1100. Vlad is at 2000 health, so maybe if he can land a few very quick strikes. Orion is down to 800, so that might be the way for Vlad. Orion is down to 500. Vlad is though sitting at 1700 health. A lot more health for Vlad. Let's slow this down. Orion is down to 600 health versus 1400 health for Vlad. Orion is so low. Let's look at that. 600, 400 health, but so is Vlad. Both of them very low at 700 health versus 4700 health. Very low. Vlad is still sitting at... Vlad is down to 4800. Orion is at 4600, so it's gonna be the battle of who manages to land the better strikes in the last seconds of this match, I guess. Orion, well, he's still far away from his healing cap. Vlad is at 4800. Orion is, yeah, he's getting back his health, his very needed health, and Vlad now needs to land more strikes against Orion. He's still sitting at 4800. He lands the strikes. Orion is down again. Orion doesn't land the strikes on Vlad so far. He's down to 300 health, but he's still regenerating. Orion has a huge regeneration cap, and he's healing at 15 health per second. That is a lot. Vlad cannot heal anymore. Let's speed this up a little bit. Yeah, and Orion is not landing the strikes on Vlad. He's again down to 2700. Vlad is sitting at 4800. It's looking much better for Vlad. Orion is again regenerating it back. Can Vlad land the strikes he needs? Orion is almost again at 500 health, and Vlad is still at 4800. And there we go, Orion lands the strikes, and Vlad is down to 100 health. And Orion is back to 1500. Let's see if that's gonna be enough, and it is for Orion, who takes Vlad down in this spectacular match in the Battle of Regenerations. Let's jump into the second match between these two. Alright, let's jump into the second match between these Battle of Regeneration. Orion again is gonna be taking quite a bit for beating before he will probably stabilize at very low health, and so let's speed up the match before that happens. Orion is down to 2700. Vlad is, well, he's going down slowly, but there we go. Orion is down to 1200 health. Vlad is at, still hasn't reached his regeneration cap, so Vlad has still a lot of potential, and Vlad is regenerating at the same rate as Orion. Orion is down to 800, 600. Vlad is landing his strikes this time. If Vlad can press his advantage, it's gonna be enough. Orion is down to 200, 700. Yeah, Vlad is gonna win this one. Orion didn't manage to regenerate quick enough because Vlad has 70 melee attack. That is nothing to sneeze at. 1-1 between these two, and let's jump into the final match. Alright, this is the final match between these two. Orion charges into Vlad, and let's see if this goes any better for Orion. Last time he just missed well, actually Vlad landed all the strikes he needed to land against Orion, so let's speed this up again and see how that goes for Orion. This time, there you go, healing keep for Orion. Vlad still 3800, 3900, pretty much hasn't reached his regeneration cap, so looks much better for Vlad this time. Orion is at 1700. He has the 20% water save that Vlad can do nothing about. 1200 for Orion. Vlad, there you go, he's reaching his regeneration cap as well. Orion, though, is taking quite a lot of strikes from Vlad. He's down to 600 health. 500 health for Orion, and 2000 for Vlad, so let's see if Vlad can press his advantage. Vlad is getting stricken by Orion, so he's gonna regenerate his last bits of health, but so is Orion. Vlad is not missing his health strikes this time. Orion is down to 300 health, 200 health. Vlad is sitting at 2000, so if Vlad manages to land a few lucky strikes, Vlad is down temporarily. A little bit of time for Orion to regenerate. He is 200 health. Again, against 1500 for Vlad, so this is a question: can Vlad land the last strikes on Orion? before Orion takes him down. Orion is down to 100 health. Vlad needs probably 1 strike or 2 more strikes, and he manages to win this one. 2-1 for Vlad von Carstein. Let's jump next into Tamurkhan versus Miao Ying. Not really an easy match for Miao Ying, as she just doesn't have, I think, the stats or anything pretty much to take on Tamurkhan. We're just gonna show you quickly this match. Tamurkhan is sitting at 10,000 health. Miao Ying is almost down to half health. Yeah, he's taking a bit of a beating from Miao Ying, but Miao Ying doesn't have any abilities, and Tamurkhan still has regeneration when he goes down, so it's going to be one of the longer matches, but Miao Ying won't be able to do anything. It's going to be a 2-0 for Tamurkhan. Jumping into the next match, we got Imrik versus Nakai. Let us compare these two. Nakai has less health, almost the same attack, melee defense, a little bit less of weapon strength. So Imrik is going to use his huge charge bonus. Let's wait for the time he activates it. 80 charge bonus, he charges into Nakai, who doesn't have a lot of health. And there we go, and Nakai takes quite a bit of damage, almost 1000 health, immediately gone. And let's keep watching this match. Nakai is up to 1000 strikes using his buffs, so the buffs are already gone. Yeah, that was before we managed to pause this match. So Imrik is at 1700. Nakai, yeah, looks like a close match between these two. Imrik is down to 6600. Nakai is at 5700. I think he has very good animations, but this 15 melee defense might be his downfall. Well, they're almost the same levels right now. Imrik's at 500 versus, let's look at that, 500 for Imrik. Nakai is a little bit ahead compared to Imrik, but Imrik I think has a little bit better buffs. Willing Prey, a lot of minus 24 melee take, minus 80 melee defense. That is a very nasty from Nakai. Very nice buff. A lot of the dragons also does the same thing, exactly the same thing, by the way, so they're both debuffing them to the same extent. 4600 for Imrik. Imrik, I think, is just doing a little bit. He has, there we go, the buff from Nakai. 1000 melee weapon strength. Is that going to be enough? Imrik has just a little bit better melee attack, I think, and 90 armor, so I think that might be his advantage. He's down to 400, but Nakai is also going down to 1800. Imrik is just a little bit ahead by almost like 1000 of health, and let's see if that is going to be enough for Imrik. None of them are landing the strikes. There we go, he's landing the strikes. Imrik is down to 2300, Nakai is down to the last 600 health. He is wavering. Yeah, he is gonna waver and lose this first round between these two. Let's jump into the second round and begin these two again, as Imrik is charging with his huge charge bonus into Nakai. Nakai is taking a lot of damage from that charge bonus. Let's slow this down a little bit. Imrik is down to 6400. Nakai is down to 3800 this time. Nakai, it does look like Nakai is really a match for Imrik. Imrik is just a very, very powerful melee lord, but he's also very tanky, and that's something Nakai doesn't have. Imrik is still, well, look at that. Nakai is managing to stabilize. 3700 for Imrik and 300 for Nakai, though he misses a few very crucial strikes from Imrik. And yeah, both of them are using the debuffs that gives the same, you know, debuffs. Yeah, but Nakai is down to 500 health. Imrik's down to 2600. I think Imrik is going to take this one. Yeah, takes this one. Nakai is wavering. It's going to be 2-0 for Imrik. Next, we're gonna have a quick showcase of Grimgor Ironhead versus Alastar, the White Lion. Alastar charges into Grimgor. Grimgor is using all the buffs that he has, and that's not really gonna be an issue for Grimgor. Alastar is gonna go down very quickly in this match. Grimgor is down to 4300. Alastar is also down to half health, but there's not really much he can do against Grimgor. Grimgor is at 3300. Alastar is down to 2300. So, well, it's actually a much closer matchup than I remember, but Alastar is down to 1200. Grimgor is still sitting at 2000 health. Grimgor is going to take this and the next match against Alastar. Again, Alastar just wouldn't do enough damage. It's going to be a 2-0 for Grimgor. Next, we're gonna have Skarsbrand versus Epidemius. Do we really need to talk about this one? No, I don't think so. Epidemius goes down. Yeah, just a very unlucky draw for Epidemius. It's gonna be, yeah, there we go. 2-0 for Skarsbrand. Not a chance for Epidemius in this match. Let's look at one of the more interesting matches, the battle in the skies. Lokhir versus Rakath, both representing the Dark Elves, both riding the dragons. Rakath has the anti-large bonus, which is going to be his big advantage, and he also has the beast armor of Garen Kar, which gives him 11% ward save and plus 10 melee defense when he's fighting large opponents. He also has the beast cleaver, which gives him even more damage against large opponents, and Yeah, this is it. Lokhir has regeneration and a few nice abilities are Foe Seeker, Deadly Onslaught, kind of the usual things. I think his biggest advantage is regeneration. Let's see if that's going to be enough against Rakath, who is not regenerating, but Lokhir is down to 3700. Rakath is still sitting almost at full health. Lokhir is down to 3400 versus 5300 for Rakath. I think, yeah, this the anti-lash bonus and the ward save, and yeah, it's just doing much better for Rakath. Lokhir is already wavering, and yeah, Rakath is gonna win the first and the second match between these two. Is gonna be a 2-0 for Rakath. Next we have Malus Darkblade versus Drazoath the Ash, and as he charges into Malus on his mount. I think Malus, it doesn't really matter whether he uses his mounts or not. The mount just gives him a little bit more armor, so Drazoath the Ash and charges into Malekith. He has more base weapon damage, armor piercing damage at the buff. Hellshot Amulet gives him a little bit ward save and a blazing body, which is gonna go up slowly, but Malus is just a beast of a fighter. Very nice attack, defense, armor, and he's regenerating, and he has obviously his usual abilities. Let's see if Malus is gonna need to transform for this one, the Warp Sword of Cain. Yeah, it looks like they're almost at the same levels of health percentage-wise. Malekith is, yeah, he's starting to go down slowly, so maybe that's the time for transformation. Drazoath the Ash, and for some reason I couldn't figure this out. He likes to do this sideways dance on his what is called the Bale Taurus, I guess. I'm not sure what is that, but yeah, Malus he's gonna. I'm not sure why he's fighting that way, but yeah, Malus is gonna take the first and the second match against his opponents. Not really a match for Malus. Let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be the battle of the charging lords. Boris Ursus against Kroq. Kroq has a little bit more health, more melee attack. He has a lot of buffs, but does Boris Ursus, so they charge into each other. Deadly Onslaught, Frenzy, Circuit Spawning, which gives him physical resistance. Boris is using all of his buffs. Deadly Onslaught, Foe Seeker, Stand Your Ground, and Fury of Ursun. Both of them are doing a lot of damage to each other. I think Kroq is slightly ahead. Both of them have anti-lash bonuses. Boris has a little bit more weapon strength. Is that going to be enough for Boris? Let's see. Boris is down to 2500. Kroq is at 4400. I think Kroq is just, yeah, 70 melee attack versus 62. Boris, though, has much better melee defense, but again, he doesn't have that much health, so that may be the small disadvantage he has. Boris is starting to waver. Kroq is still at 2300. Boris is down to 4500. Very close match, but Kroq is going to take the first match between these two. Let's jump into the second match as both lords are charging into each other again. Boris also takes so much damage from Kroq. Kroq is also taking a lot of damage. Let's slow this down. Kroq is down to 5600. Boris Ursus, where is he? Boris Ursus, I cannot click him, Jesus Christ. He's down to 3300. I think that's the issue. Boris Ursus just has a little bit less health than Kroq, and Kroq has a better charge bonus. Maybe he also has better animations because the Carnosaurs have amazing animations. He's down to 40, yeah, he's down 3300. Boris is already wavering. It doesn't look like the Tsar of Kislev. Can he make it? 600 versus 1300? No. Kroq is gonna take it 2-0 for Kroq. Let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be Taurox versus Archaon, the Ever-Chosen. Let's see if Taurox is gonna be able to take the leader of Chaos. Archaon buffs himself up to insane stats. 800 melee attack, 870 weapon strength, 84 melee defense, 120 armor. Yeah, and he also has 10% physical resistance on top of that. Taurox has a 40% ward save. That is one of his abilities that he has. The brass body, there we go. Just 41 seconds. For some reason, I would think he would permanently have the brass body because that's his body. He's also he should accumulate the blood greed, but he doesn't have anybody else to kill. So close, I would say percentage-wise, they're almost at the same levels of health. Taurox is at 4200, Archaon is down to 4700. Taurox still has flaming attacks, which are good, and Rune Tortured Axis gives him a little bit more weapon strength, but Archaon, I think he just has a little bit better stats overall. Let's see how that goes for Taurox. 3500 versus 600 for Archaon. A very close match. Archaon manages to land a few very nice strikes on Taurox. Taurox is down to 2400, and now he needs to get back into the game. 2100. Archaon is getting his buff, the Slayer of Kings. That is such a nasty buff. 75% base weapon damage, 75% more armor piercing damage. Yeah, let's see if Taurox can overcome that. Now he's down to 1000 health versus to 1900. No, he started to waver, but yeah, it looks like Archaon is barely gonna win the first match against Taurox. Let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be, sorry, the second match between these two. Again, both of them are charging into each other. Archaon has a much better charge bonus. He also has an ability which is expert charge defense, but I'm not sure why he would ever use that because his charge bonus is just so good. Huge stats for Archaon using all his buffs. Taurox using his brass body to negate Archaon's charge bonus, and let's see how this goes for Taurox the second time. Taurox is at 5300, Archaon is at 6000. Archaon has just slightly better stats than Taurox. None of them are knocking each other around, so Taurox is slowly, I think, taking a little bit more damage than Archaon, and it looks like Taurox is, well, will he be good enough to take on Archaon? Taurox is down to 2000, Archaon is at 5100, so might be a small chance for Taurox if he manages to land a few lucky strikes, but Archaon has insane just weapon strength and melee melee attack, and he manages to win this one. It's gonna be 2-0 for Archaon. Let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be Belakor versus Nakai the Wanderer. Comparing these two, well, it looks like on paper Nakai has a lot more armor and weapon strength, but less health. And let's see how this goes for Nakai. Belakor is charging into Nakai. He's gonna use a lot of Torment. Is kind of pointless because that gives him regeneration. His opponent is wavering. Belakor charges into Nakai. Does a lot of damage. He's using his what is the Shadow Shroud, 60% ward save. Nakai though, he is using the Primal Roar plus 40 melee attack, but that's negated by the Dark Master, so Nakai is sitting at the exact amount of attack that he used to have initially. Belakor landing a few very nice strikes, 70 attack, 55 melee defense, and otherwise I think they're very comparable, the lords, but Belakor is down to 7000 health. Nakai is down to 2900, I think. Yeah, it doesn't look like very good for Nakai this time. Belakor is regenerating a little bit. Nakai is down to, yeah, Nakai is not going to be able to beat Belakor in this, or the next match is going to be a 2-0 for Belakor. Next we have Kholek Sunnies versus Alberic de Bordelot, who is charging into Kholek. Let's see if that's gonna help against the mighty Dragon Ogre Shagath, who has the 900 weapon strength, 90 melee attack. Alberic has a bonus versus large. He has the Blessing of the Lady, 50% ward save. But the ward save is not good enough against Kholek, who just easily wins this. And the next match, 2-0 for Kholek Suneater. Let's jump into the next match. The battle in disguise. This time it's Boris Todbringer representing the Empire versus Luthor Harkon. Both of them have regeneration. Both of them are charging into each other. And Luthor Harkon is going to use his secret weapon. This one, Disrupted. Minus 10% physical resistance and silence. Boris Todbringer is not going to be able to use any of his abilities. He's getting debuffed down to 16 melee defense. He's poisoned, and let's find the Horn Swoggle, minus 24 melee attack, minus 30 armor. Let's speed this up and see if Luthor has this secret advantage against most of the lords, because I think he is the only lord that has the silence in the game so far. I haven't seen anybody else who can do that. Boris is down to 3400. Luthor, yeah, he's sitting at a very nice. He doesn't have that good stats, 36 melee attack, 42 melee defense. Boris looks like has better stats, but that's his advantage. He silences all the opponent's abilities, he poisons them, and Luthor has this ability of his own that we just saw. He has regeneration, and let's see if he has anything else. The hunger, that's the same thing. Boris Todbringer, so he's sitting without anything he can do, just hold the line, and the Middenlank Runefang, that gives him a little bit of regeneration, but it looks like Luthor is doing just a little bit better. He's also getting disrupted all the time. He just doesn't have a single second when he can use his abilities, so it's gonna be 1-0 and then 2-0 for Luthor Harkons, who very surprisingly, probably the dark horse of the tournament. He's gonna go into the next round. And let's jump into the next match, as Tyrion is going to be fighting Thogrim Grudgebearer. Tyrion has, let's compare these two. Thogrim has more health, less of everything else. And Tyrion is going to be, again, Tyrion is very similar to Archaon. He doesn't have that much health, but he has his secret, where is it? The Heart of Avalon, that's going to give him an extra 25% health. And let's see how this goes for Thogrim Grudgebearer. Thogrim is very tanky, and yeah, looks like Thogrim just is not doing that well against Tyrion for some reason. He's down to 500 health. Tyrion is still slightly below health-wise, but percentage-wise, look at the damage Tyrion managed to do to Thogrim. Thogrim is down to 4,700. Tyrion is sitting at 3,400, 3,200 versus 4,700 for Thogrim. Very, very close match between these two. Tyrion is down to 3,800. Thogrim is down to 3,500. 2,800 for Tyrion. 39, 37. Yeah, it's a close match, but Tyrion has, as I said, the 25% regeneration that he can use. And Thogrim doesn't have much else going on for him, so Tyrion is going to take this. And the next match is going to be a 2-0 for Tyrion. And let's look at the last match in the upper bracket. This is going to be Ostrogoth Iron Hand representing the Chaos Dwarfs versus Gor Rok. Ostrogoth is running on his mechanical legs. That looks just hilarious, but I love it. He is very, very tanky Lord, 130 armor. Gor Rok is also very, very tanky Lord, so it's a battle of the tankiness, I guess. You could say that. Gor Rok is using his extra charge defense to negate the charge bonus, and let's see how the match goes. Gor Rok is using all of his abilities, plus 60 armor. Lots of melee defense. Yeah, almost everything is 100 health. Ostrogoth doesn't have that much going on. He has the Black Hammer of her shoot, which gives him a little bit more damage. And the Stone Mantle is going to give him more physical resistance as the match goes on. He takes a lot of damage very quickly, so let's see if Gor Rok is going to be able... Well, look at that. Ostrogoth manages to land a very nice hit, and another one, Ostrogoth is landing hit after hit on Gor Rok for some reason. Gor Rok just, Ostrogoth, 60 melee attack is not a lot, but he's just landing the strikes on Gor Rok. He needs to. Gor Rok is down to 2,400 versus 3,400 for Ostrogoth. Let's see, yeah, he has Primal Instincts, the final buff when his points go below 50%. Ostrogoth doesn't have anything else going on, just a lot of armor, and both of them have armor piercing damage, so I think Ostrogoth, maybe his just animations are better, but it's really hard to say. Both of them very close to each other. Ostrogoth 2,400, Gor Rok is 2,100, he's gonna use his buffs. See if he can take it, and Ostrogoth is landing a lot of very good strikes on Gor Rok. Gor Rok again is using his Shield of Aeons. He's down to 1,000 health. Ostrogoth is down to 1,800. But Gor Rok is also missing the strikes from Ostrogoth. Ostrogoth is just doing a little bit better. Gor Rok is down to 600 health versus 1,500 for Ostrogoth. I'm not sure why. What is the secret source to him landing his strikes? But yeah, it doesn't look like Gor Rok is going to be doing this well. Ostrogoth is down to 1,200, 600 for Gor Rok. And Ostrogoth is going to take the first match, and Gor Rok, the unmovable object. Look at that, he's just flying around, crying in pain as Ostrogoth takes the first match. Let's look at the second match between these two. Again, both of them are charging into each other. Ostrogoth on his hilarious mechanical legs. Maybe that is the reason he hates when people say his mechanical legs are hilarious. He charges into Gor Rok and lands a few very nice strikes against Gor Rok. Again, I'm not sure why. He doesn't have that good stats, but yeah, it looks like Gor Rok, for some reason, for all his buffs, for all his melee attack and melee defense, he still misses a lot of damage that goes into him. 3,700 for Gor Rok, 4,300 for Ostrogoth, and again, Ostrogoth, he does have a little bit more physical resistance. No ward save, no nothing. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here. 2,400 for Gor Rok, 3,500 for Ostrogoth, so I think Gor Rok needs to stabilize this one right now, otherwise I think he's gonna go down with the leadership debuff. 1,400 for Gor Rok, yeah, it looks like 1,100 for Gor Rok, 2,200 for Ostrogoth. Yeah, he's just not letting his strikes. Ostrogoth, for some reason, he manages to just hit Gor Rok again and again. Gor Rok is using his plus 60 armor, he gets more weapon damage. Ostrogoth is at 2,000 health, Gor Rok is his last 800 health, so it's gonna be a close matchup between these two. Let's see if Gor Rok is gonna be able to take this one against Ostrogoth. He really needs to turn around, he needs to do the damage now. He's using the Rock of It's a plus 40 physical resistance, he's down to 1 health, he is lying on the ground crying, he cannot do anything against Ostrogoth. 2-0 for Ostrogoth. So here are the final results from round 1. None of the opponents are out, as everybody who lost is gonna drop down to losers round 2. And here are the pairings for round 2. Kugath Plaguefather versus Durthu. That's gonna be interesting. I'm guessing Kugath is gonna take this one, but Durthu is a very powerful lord. Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord versus Vlad from Carstein. I don't think Vlad is gonna win this one. Imrik against Grimgor Ironhide. Well, could go either way. Skarsbrand the Exiled versus Rakath. Again, that's an interesting one because Skarsbrand, yes, he does a lot of damage, but he's also taking a lot of damage, and Rakath has huge anti-large bonuses, so maybe that's where the Skarsbrand is gonna be stopped. Malus versus Kroq. Maybe Malus, but Kroq is also a very good lord. Archaon the Ever Chosen versus Belcor, the Battle of Chaos. I think my bet is on Archaon in this one. Kholek Sanita versus Luthor Harkan. I really want Luthor to go to the next round, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it, but we'll see. And Tyrion versus Astragoth Iron Hand. Again, stat-wise, it should be Tyrion in the next round, but Astragoth, as we just saw, he's just landing strike after strike. He has some magical source that nobody knows now about. So this was it for the upper bracket.